5th, a pregnant mother took her 2-year-old son to a clinic in Tempe, Arizona, because he had a fever of over 100. The doctor instructed the mother to take him to an emergency room because he was unvaccinated. And she feared that because he was unvaccinated, he could have meningitis. Well, of course, right? I mean, if you're unvaccinated, you could get measles. Of course, you could also get measles, as I just pointed out, if you have been vaccinated. If you have been vaccinated multiple times, it just had a scare at a school, and we have to ban unvaccinated pupils, and yet this particular exposure was from a vaccinated teacher. I repeat that, a vaccinated teacher, not unvaccinated pupils. A vaccinated teacher was patient 0. But yeah, if you are unvaccinated, you are now surrendering all of your rights in America. So we're going to ban you from school. We're going to ban you from the public square, as they did in a county in New York. And now we're going to have doctors call in a SWAT team on you, which is what happened in Arizona. The doctor called the emergency room, said there's going to be a boy coming to see you. But after leaving the doctor's office, the boy showed signs of improvement. He was laughing, playing with his siblings. His temperature moved closer to normal about 6:30 p.m. The mother called the doctor to let her know that the toddler no longer had a fever, and she would not be taking him to the emergency room. So at that point, the doctor contacts the police. And then let's show some film of what happened, because this has now gone public and it has outraged people. There is a representative in Arizona saying, I demand answers about why these people would go to the house, kick the door down, right? And look at that, just taking the door right off the hinges, guns drawn for the sake of the children, right? We got to worry about the children's health. So we're going to go in there with shields, SWAT teams, guns pointed at the kids, because we got to protect the kids, right? It's all for the kids. This is always the phony argument that is used by the authoritarians. We have to take away your freedom to protect the children. And this is what that eventually looks like. A SWAT team kicking in the door, coming in, guns drawn, full body armor, shields in front of them, and guns pointed at the kids. 3 hours later, the hospital contacted the doctor to advise her that the child had not shown up, and the mother wasn't answering her phone, according to police records. The doctor then contacted CPS, and CPS contacted the police. They requested officers check on the welfare of a 2-year-old infant, and the caseworker said, I'm on my way. So they escalate this into an emergency. Now, I want to point out, folks, that when we have SWAT teams, what we have here is an escalation of the war on drugs. And if you don't understand that this is being pushed by people who want to destroy our freedom, our liberty, our choices, that if you don't understand that it's being pushed by big business at the same time, we got these SWAT team raids because we embraced the idiotic idea that we can stop people from doing harmful things to themselves, whether it is drinking alcohol or whether it's taking hallucinogenic drugs, that we can stop addiction with law enforcement. Well, if you thought that that was going to work, then you didn't pay any attention when we had alcohol prohibition, and you haven't paid any attention for the last 50 years. I don't support drug use. I don't use drugs. I don't advocate recreational drug use, including alcohol. But you are a fool if you think that you can stop this with law enforcement. There's some law enforcement officers who will tell you, we have the hammer of law enforcement and we think that we can solve every issue in society with this. No, you can't. It is a spiritual issue. The reason we have drug addiction in America is the same reason we have abortion in America. It is a spiritual issue. And if we don't address those spiritual issues, those psychological issues, those cultural issues that are destroying us as a society, then we aren't going to find any solution, because it can't be solved. We've had 50 years of this nearly. It was 1971, and 48 years we've had of this. And it hasn't done anything other than make it worse. We have more intensified drugs. We have bigger gangs that are more dangerous. We have the police who become more dangerous. They've now got the authority to do no-knock SWAT team raids, even to a call from CPS, how this gets escalated. We've normalized SWAT teams and the war on drugs. And now it's come to the point where not only is Big Pharma going to stop you from getting access to safe, effective, natural remedies using drug prohibition, but they're now going to have their goons kick down your door to force you to take their products. Kind of like Obama's mandatory health insurance. Do you really want the government running health care when you see this? When you see how they turn their head the other way when there's something harmful that is being produced by the big moneyed interest, big pharma, big medicine, big insurance, they look the other way. But they don't look the other way if you exercise